Hello everyone, this is your guy Rajat from renustudio.com. So from time to time I get to encounter this question like what sort of computer should I buy? Should I buy a MacBook or a PC? So in this video we are going to talk about some points to consider before buying your next laptop. So whether you should be buying the PC or the Mac. Let's get started. To start things off, I would say it depends on the kind of thing you are trying to do at that particular stage in your life. Like if you are a newbie user who does not have any sort of idea about what programming is, who is just starting in programming career and who just want to test the water like is programming right for me or not, and can I just dip my feet into programming and see whether I would like to do it in the long run or not. If you are in that particular stage, I will suggest that any sort of computer that has been built in last 10 years will do. Even a computer which is having the configuration of 64 MB of RAM and running Windows XP will be more than enough if you are only concerned about learning the fundamental of programming, like how to apply if loop, switch statement, and what are conditional statement, and how can I learn the basics of Java, C++, C, Python, and things like that. Having said that, if you are an intermediate user who has some sort of idea about what programming is and how to do basic programming and how to employ some sort of algorithms, now you want to up your skills and now you want to dip your feet into professional software development. Now you want to use IDEs and browsers to look something up when you are stuck. Now in that particular scenario, I will suggest that a computer with Core i5 processor and 4 GB of RAM will be enough. Don't buy a i3 based processor because those laptops which are out there in market in today's scene are mostly geared towards media consumption. If you want to watch movies on your laptop, buy an i3. But if you are concerned about intermediate programming, I will suggest at least go for an i5 laptop or system because you need some sort of processing power at the end of the day if you are talking about running IDEs and browsers side by side, because Chrome is going to consume a considerable amount of RAM, and same is the case with the IDE while the compilation is in process, right? So get an i5 at least with 4 GB of RAM. Now there is one more thing to consider, the speed of your hard drive. The most of the hard drives which are coming pre-installed in non-Mac systems are 5400 RPM hard drives. So these hard drives are not so fast. The reason people say that Macs are fast, it is because of these newer Macs are using SSD, which is solid state drives. So solid state drives are considerably faster as compared to hard drives. So I have a MacBook which has 4 GB of RAM and i5 Haswell processor. Now I also have a laptop which is 8 GB of RAM, 2 GB of NVIDIA graphics card, and the same i5 Haswell processor. But if we are talking about performance, my MacBook boots everything up very fast as compared to my laptop. The reason for that is my MacBook is having an SSD and my laptop is having a HDD, and SSDs are considerably faster than HDD, right? So those are all about intermediate usage. Now if you also want to run some sort of graphics processing systems like Adobe, Photoshop and all, I would suggest that get a system with 8 GB of RAM at least, because if you are going to run Chrome and Photoshop and some sort of IDE side by side, all of these things will consume a significant part of your RAM. So you require a system which is having at least 8 GB of RAM, and if you can buy a system with 16 GB of RAM or you can upgrade your system to 16 GB, that will be great, because I run Android Studio on my PC and it clearly struggles with even 8 GB of RAM. So if you are concerned about doing some heavy sort of usage like running everything side by side, 8 GB of RAM is the minimum you should get in 2017. Now, for graphics processing and running everything side by side, MacBook is a better choice because it can switch between programs and load files with lightning fast speed due to SSD, and also due to the fact that Mac OS is highly optimized for the hardware. Now, if we are talking about professional software development, I would suggest get an iMac or a MacBook Pro, or if you don't like Mac OS, get yourself an Ultrabook, because Ultrabooks are the closest thing you can get when you are talking about MacBooks and Mac OS, because Ultrabooks come with a good processor, a good amount of RAM and SSDs. This kind of configuration is comparable to configuration of MacBooks and iMac, right? Because when you are talking about professional development, you have to load up several programs side by side. There is a good deal of context switching, searching and loading everything up, compilation and other software development related processes, linting, everything going on concurrently. So you need a system which can do all of those things with great efficiency. So for that, I will suggest that get yourself a good computer if you are talking about professional development, because if your computer hangs or you feel some sort of lag while operating or programming, you will end up frustrated and your productivity will decrease over the period of time, and you won't feel excited enough to sit on that system and program, because it clearly struggles with the resources and the kind of problem you are throwing at it. So get yourself a good computer if you are talking about professional development, and that has to be an iMac, a MacBook Pro or a Ultrabook if we are talking about Windows or Linux ecosystems, and you can even load Windows and Linux side by side on Mac or iMacs, right? So with that, this is your guy Rajat Saxena signing off, and make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel, because I produce weekly computer science and software development industry related videos. So with that, I'm signing off. Take care. Bye bye.